Sunday, right here on SportsGrid with a shootout underway. Kevin Walsh, Joe Lisi, we are live with you for Falcons Colts in Berlin, and it is 13-7 Indianapolis, and there's still 5 minutes left here in this opening quarter, Joe. You and I have sat through some ugly ones. Not bad.
Yeah,
not bad.
48.5 was the in-game number, or a pre-kick number. We're starting to see this now, potentially.
62.5, 61.5.
That's a huge number for an international game.
You want to sell it?
I mean, if it gets anywhere near 68, if we can get a quick score, I would probably jump in. Now, you know, this was the highest total when you just look at the games being played throughout the regular season. 48.5s were significantly higher. I think the other one that was striking up there was 43.5, 44.5 with the Steelers and Vikings game. Mm-hmm. We saw some real, snoozers, but this game is living up to the hype. We saw Jonathan Taylor get going. Daniel Jones bounces back from that poor performance last week. He throws a touchdown pass. Alec Pierce, very consistent. And we see Michael Penix be able to move the football. But if you're Atlanta in this matchup, can you maintain that? They should have potentially won that game last week against New England. They were within striking distance, and they get the cover and can't pull it out. But they're a hot and cold team. One week good, 1 week bad. Now they're behind. How do they bounce back or potentially pull this game out? I'm curious to see.
Yeah, just in terms of, rooting interest, because we're going to be live. What are we on pre-kick? I just did a bunch of combinations, Joe, for Jonathan Taylor and Bijan Robinson. I know that might sound a bit chalky, but I didn't want to overcomplicate this. You could argue the two best running backs in football. You could make that argument, two of the five best running backs in football. So when I say combinations, each, to combine for 200 plus, each for 5.25, 10.25, 50.5. We just went up and down with this. But total and side-wise, there's room to get involved here. Quarterbacks, there's room to get involved here. You talk, though, about, the side pregame. What I think is so interesting for Indianapolis, they make this huge move for Sauce Gardner, Joe. It's followed, though, by DeForest Buckner heading to the IR. And for Indianapolis, the strength defensively this year has been up front. You hope Sauce Gardner can really shore things up on the back end, and we're going to see. But for Indy, who pushed all in via the Sauce Gardner trade, they then took a big hit defensively. So this is going to be an interesting little 4-week run here where they try and, get Sauce Gardner acclimated while adjust to life without DeForest Buckner for a little bit.
You brought up great points. And we saw a team like San Francisco battle through injuries with that front seven, and they just find ways to win. How good is Indy big picture? We'll see. Now one of their best defensive players no longer there for a limited amount of time, 4 or 5 games. But you want them hopefully back before a playoff run. We'll see if that plays out. But if you're Indy right now, you have to take care of business. You had one of your worst performances of the regular season. Your quarterback turned the football over. Defensively, they got the turnover early against Penix. Can they continue to do that? If they're opportunistic, and that's what the hope of Sauce Gardner in the secondary is, forcing turnovers, forcing interceptions, they're going to be okay. Yeah. But I don't know, and I don't think you and I were in the big camp of that Indy was going to be the dominant team in the AFC. Even if they made it to the playoffs, they have weaknesses that could be exploited.
So I will say this, Joe, and we haven't had the opportunity to talk about this together too much yet, and of course it'll probably factor in throughout our show really as this game is on, but the decision by Indianapolis to go in for Sauce Gardner, I don't have an issue with relative to this season. I think the Colts are now a little – I buy Indianapolis relative to the AFC a lot more post-deal. I really do.
Right.
Defensively, they are good, and this could now help them get to a new level. Offensively, while I'm not a big believer in Daniel Jones, the offense has been really good. They have a great system around him. I believe in Shane Steichen. And when we look at the AFC this season, it is open.
Right.
It is open. Like, just because Buffalo beat Kansas City doesn't mean I'm going to pretend I think the Bills are world beaters. And Kansas City, I understand that, it's Mahomes. He's dangerous. I know the season doesn't end today. If it did, they're not in the playoffs. It's week 10. If they lose their next game coming out of the bye to Denver, which is on the road, it's not an easy game. They will then all of a sudden, Joe, be 5-5.
Right.
They'll have no chance to win the division if that happens. So, to me, do I think that, do I want to bet Daniel Jones if he's going head-to-head with Josh Allen and Mahomes? No, I'm not saying I'm dying to do that. But we also may have a playoffs littered with, year 3 Bo Nix, year 2 Drake May.
Herbert, that it's never won a game.
Right.
Right in the playoffs.
Listen, Pittsburgh may hold on to that north. Right. There isn't a guarantee Baltimore gets in there. So, from that respect, I like what Indianapolis did. I understand that, it's risky. They pushed all in now that Daniel Jones is the guy. We can have that conversation. But I think I believe in Indianapolis more post-trade, and I think that was the point of it.
Yeah, win now, right? You capitalize on the momentum that you have at this point in the season. You can make the argument that Indy is similar to, let's say, Minnesota last year with Sam Darnold. And that situation didn't work out because of how they played in the last 2 games. The regular season loss to Detroit and getting blown out by the Rams. But they're in a similar type of situation. So if you could solidify the defense, bring a player that above average. I don't think Sauce is Deion Sanders or a lockdown Hall of Famer, but he's an above-average corner that maybe hasn't lived up to the hype throughout his career in New York, but can solidify that defense to make you a better contender than what you are. And I don't have a problem with it because they want to win now. They're sitting in striking distance. They get this win today. They're going to be 8-2 with basically 7 games left. Even if they split or win 4 of the last 7. That's a 12-win football team. Mm-hmm. They've overexceeded expectations from a preseason market of 7.5.
Yeah.
So they're doing everything that they can to get to an AFC championship, and I think they made a good move when the skillet is hot. Isn't that what they say? The skillet?
I
go for a skillet.
I think it's, I don't know, striking iron is hot? Yeah.
Skillet.
All right, interesting. All right.
Yeah,
listen,
because we got breakfast on my brain.
You want pancakes?
I thought we were doing the crunch.
Oh, listen, I like where your head's at. Can I say this, though? Because the Vikings comparison is an apt one, undoubtedly. There's a couple of things there, right? Where the Vikings were eliminated by Matt Stafford, Sean McVay. That's a Super Bowl winning combination, right? They were on the road. Okay, they weren't on. It was a neutral game. They weren't in Minnesota, certainly, right? Due to the Lions winning the North. So the Colts could find themselves in a situation where in round number 1 they're hosting, like we just said, a Justin Herbert who doesn't have a playoff win on the resume. It'll feel a little bit different. Here's the other thing though with Sam Darnold, and we're going to talk some Seahawks football today and all of the love around Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was brilliant last season. There were 3 games, though, where he was absolutely awful. Played his former team in the Jets. Week 18, the number 1 seed's on the line against the Lions. Playoff game against the Rams. I'm sorry, that's not a coincidence. Those are undeniably the 3 biggest games that they played all of last year. And he wasn't, it was not like, he was awful. He was horrific. He threw 1 touchdown pass in those 3 games. He threw 34 in the other games on the year. Daniel Jones, what has happened to me? He does have a playoff win under his belt. So I think right now, I will say this. I right now believe a little bit more in this year's Indianapolis group, post-Sauce Gardner trade, than I did in last year's Minnesota group.
No, it's a fair point. I think when you look at Minnesota, you never really bought into the fact that Darnold was putting up those numbers. He was putting them up, but you're like, he's going to fall off a cliff. Something's going to happen. And they ran into Detroit and the Rams and got shellacked in those games. Well, and here he is. We'll see if he can do it with Seattle. This team is battle-tested. I do like their defense a little bit better heading into this year.
Speaking of the Rams and a shellacking, have you seen this number? We're talking Rams-Niners next.
Starts off on a positive note of getting Lamar Jackson back Thursday night, which was great. He threw for 200 yards, did not look rusty at all. He only rushed for 15, but he didn't really need that. Lamar Jackson also threw for 4 touchdowns, 2 of which going to Mark Andrews. So guess who's back and relative again at the tight end position now that Lamar's back? Oh, wait, it's Mark Andrews. No kidding. I mean, the guy just catches touchdowns. It's Lamar's favorite guy in the red zone.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
If Jacoby Brissett was playing bad football for the past 3 weeks, Kyler Murray will be fully healthy, ready to go. Can't wait to get him on the field at Seattle and try to resurrect our season. Now you have Jacoby Brissett playing really good football. Putting Kyler Murray back in right now because he wasn't playing good football doesn't make any sense. The perfect storm here for Arizona. Hey, Kyler, going on IR takes the pressure off you. And Jacoby, you deserve the start. Go ahead and start, kid.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
And the major thing you're going to say about Tom Izzo for the jump is, Tom Izzo don't duck anybody. You want to hear who they have to play preseason? Kentucky, Duke, UNC, and Arkansas. This is not the Jimmy Boeheim Don't Leave New York Carrier Dome Classic. This guy plays people.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
We now have to figure out if they will be in the playoffs. They're the Super Bowl favorite and have shorter odds to miss the postseason as you and I sit here right now.
Right, but let me ask you this. Do you feel after this 5-4 record, 9 weeks, 10 weeks of the regular season, that their defense is as dominant as it was last year?
No, but the offense is better.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Week 10 in the National Football League has a few interesting games. But there is one later today where the spread stunned me. And as the week has gone on, all of a sudden, as the number keeps going opposite of what I expected, I think I'm starting to agree with it or at minimum respect it. It is the game between the 49ers and the Rams. These teams have played this year. In L.A., in overtime, the Niners pulled off a sizable upset. Caught 8.5 points in that one. Mac Jones got the start for Brock Purdy. And we've continuously watched Mac Jones get the start for Brock Purdy, as Brock has just not been able to really, shake off the, injury, as maybe Mac's play is giving Brock a little bit more time, though, in terms of getting back out there on the field. But because they had already played, and because we saw that go San Fran's way, I thought, hey, Niners are going to get respect here. Might be a slight favorite pick, right? 3.5 was the opening number, and I was surprised. We are now here, Joe, 5.5, 6, and a 6.5 now out there, as the Rams are knocking on the door of being a touchdown road favorite to San Francisco here later today.
Yeah, I don't buy it. Again, I understand why the line is set the way it is. The injuries, divisional matchup, the fact that they lost last game on a Thursday primetime, that can Mac Jones and Christian McCaffrey and this mass unit of a defense contain Matt Stafford having one of his best years ever, right, with the herniated disc in his neck. I still believe in San Francisco. I know that you're talking about the Rams, Kev. They've won 3 straight by an average margin of victory of 22 points per game. So you just take that into perspective, and knowing that San Fran is hot and cold, 1 week up, 1 week down, but they're finding their way, right? And think about how they were respected last week against the Giants. I mean, they were laying 2.5 points to a rookie quarterback, and that team that had no weapons, and the Giants were given such respect in the market. Why?
Right.
They're a 2-win football team, and they got beat up on both sides of the football. I believe in San Francisco in this game. I don't believe, and you know me, I was high on L.A. for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think they're that good. I mean, I think they're a good football team. I don't think they're elite. And I certainly don't think that they could challenge in a playoff environment, and I know they covered against the Eagles.
They didn't cover L.A.
Oh, they didn't cover. It was.
Should remember.
I'm trying.
The Jordan Davis block.
Oh, that's no. I'm talking in the playoff game last year.
Oh, did they get the cover?
They got the cover as a 6-point dog. They lost it by 5,
okay.
6.5. I was talking playoff environment, not the regular season. That perception is like, oh, they make the playoffs, they're going to make a run.
Yeah.
I think they'll get exposed in the playoffs as opposed to being. I just think San Francisco they're a little bit more blue collar.
Okay.
And I think that what Mac Jones has proved that he can handle whatever you throw at him. He's going to stand in the pocket. He's going to deliver the football. We've seen Juwan Jennings getting more involved. We see McCaffrey, and I told you in the break, he has the opportunity to be the first player in NFL history, 1,100 yards rushing, 1,100 receiving. That's his pace. He's that important to the passing attack. I think it's a lower scoring game. I don't think it duplicates the first performance, but I'm taking the 5.5 with the home dog.
So I was trending that way the whole time. And I think there are some interesting conversations that we can have about believability in L.A., and we will. But I am struggling with this Niners team that I picked and bet to win the NFC. Because, Joe, this isn't the team that I bet to win the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, the Michael Williams injury is one of the most... I cannot believe that they lost another guy to a season-ending injury. It doesn't feel real.
It's like Tampa Bay.
No, it's not. I'm sorry, Joe, it's not like anything else in the league. Tampa Bay's getting injured. I understand that. Every one of those guys is supposed to come back. To start the year, right? Hey, we'll see when Ayuk plays. Oh, look, down goes Brock. Down goes Juwan Jennings. Is Ricky Pearsall on this roster? Kittle for 4 weeks. You expect that. But then, boom, there goes Nick Bosa. It's like, okay, well, that's not great. This is a defense that was built on 2 studs, Bosa and Warner.
And then Williams went down.
Down goes Warner.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, now, and then it's not even like Michael Williams was lighting the world on fire. It's not like he was the favorite to win, Defensive Rookie of the Year. But it's just, another guy? It's unimaginable. No, I understand that it happens, Joe. But at some point then, what happens is we'll pick our head up, and the Niners will be giving up 30 a night. We're like, what do you think happened here? Oh, yeah, no one's healthy. Like, that is the issue that I am having in this game, is if the Rams score 20, I'm like, yeah, there's Niners defense, Robert Saleh. If they score 40, who am I going to get mad at other than myself?
Right, but do you really believe in this type of game they're going to score 40?
That is the push and pull, is when these teams meet, it's pretty much always dog or it's pretty much always Kyle.
Right, but I think in this matchup, I think Shanahan takes the perception, we're going to try and run the football.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and utilize our workhorse, Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can do that, we'll shorten the game. We'll keep our defense on the sidelines, right, because we're sustaining drives.
Yeah.
And we don't have to get into this 34-24 game that they played with the Giants last week or get into the shootout that they had in L.A. where Mac Jones had to throw for over 350. Here's the thing. Stafford and that offense can throw it. But I think they're going to have limited opportunity. The line for me, the 5.5, you see a lot of 5.5s, and these games typically trend to the under. I like the 5.5 with the home dog. I'm not going to overthink it. I think a lot of people are just buying into the fact that L.A. is going to waltz in there. They're dominant, Stafford and McVay. I don't see it.
I think we need to talk a little bit more about L.A. because they are a very interesting team that is gaining a lot of buzz in the market.
Yeah.
And their case for best in the NFC, best in the NFL, it's not ridiculous. Even if I know you don't agree with it, and I probably wouldn't either, there's a case for LA. So let's dive a little bit more into that. We'll update you on Colts Falcons as well, live right here on SportsGrid.
starts off on a positive note of getting Lamar Jackson back Thursday night, which was great. He threw for 200 yards, did not look rusty at all. He only rushed for 15, but he didn't really need that. Lamar Jackson also threw for 4 touchdowns, 2 of which going to Mark Andrews. So guess who's back and relative again at the tight end position now that Lamar's back? Oh, wait, it's Mark Andrews. No kidding. I mean, the guy just catches touchdowns. It's Lamar's favorite guy in the red zone.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
If Jacoby Brissett was playing bad football for the past 3 weeks, Kyler Murray will be fully healthy, ready to go. Can't wait to get him on the field at Seattle and try to resurrect our season. Now you have Jacoby Brissett playing really good football. Putting Kyler Murray back in right now because he wasn't playing good football doesn't make any sense. The perfect storm here for Arizona. Hey, Kyler, going on IR takes the pressure off you. And Jacoby, you deserve the start. Go ahead and start, kid.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
And the amazing thing you're going to say about Tom Izzo for the jump is, Tom Izzo don't duck anybody. You want to hear who they have to play preseason? Kentucky, Duke, UNC, and Arkansas. This is not the Jimmy Boeheim Don't Leave New York Carrier Dome Classic. This guy plays people.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
We now have to figure out if they will be in the playoffs. They're the Super Bowl favorite and have shorter odds to miss the postseason as you and I sit here right now.
Right, but let me ask you this. Do you feel after this 5-4 record, 9 weeks, 10 weeks of the regular season, that their defense is as dominant as it was last year?
No, but the offense is better.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back with you right here on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh and Joe Lisi, Pro Football Today. We did just have a missed field goal by the Colts, Joe.
All right,
so an opportunity to go up by 9. It stays 6, 13-7 with 10:40 left here in the second quarter. Just to update your live numbers, 6.5-point spread, 55.5 though total, Joe. So dropping quite a bit from that 61.5 that we saw in the market.
Yeah, we see this all the time with the international games. We can't get from start to finish a consistent game.
Yeah.
It's either first half is dead, and then you pick it up in the second half, or the first half is electric, and then all of a sudden we slow down to like a stall. So hopefully we get a little mojo. The only player I'm on in that game happens to be Kyle Pitts. I did take him for an anytime touchdown, and I know Drake London has the relationship with Michael Penix, but at the end of the day, could we throw it to Kyle Pitts in a red zone opportunity? We'll see if that transpires, but that's the only bet. I'm going to take a look at it at halftime, see if we could jump in.
So we were talking a little bit before the break about the Niners and the Rams. You are not scared off by the number. You're encouraged. No. You're going to play the Niners. I am a little worried right now about San Francisco. It feels like a game that I'll be watching and regretting quite a bit, maybe not playing San Fran. But there is an element of respect that I am gaining a little bit for L.A. And yet, I go back and forth, right? Could they have beaten the Philadelphia Eagles? 100%. 100%. But they didn't, and the way it played out is disheartening and does not make me trust them more. Could they have beaten the Niners in the game that they lost? 100%. But also, when you have, the advantage it looked like they had in a short week at home and get that game to overtime and still lose, it's a bad loss. I'm sorry, I'm not going to run into the streets and praise them for only scoring 17 against Baltimore when they were lifeless, or rolling the New Orleans Saints, as we've seen, Seattle got fat and happy off of the Saints, right? And that's up their numbers a little bit. But there are aspects of the Rams that make sense. Why would Stafford plus Puka plus Devontae Adams plus Sean McVay not be really good offensively? They are. Why would a defense that came on like gangbusters throughout last season and was very young last year not be better this year? They are. So there's elements, Joe, of the Rams. They are, admittedly, and again, you win some, you lose some. If they would have won either one of the two games that they lost, whether it be to the Niners or the Eagles, they, I think, would be seen as, I don't know about clear, but I think they would be discussed as the NFC favorites. I think they would be priced as the NFC favorites. So like I said, it's not a ridiculous case to believe LA. And by the way, if you're the best team in the NFC, you have an easy argument for best team in football because the NFC is much better than the AFC this season.
Yeah, I mean, they won the West last year with a 10-7 record, all right? So, and again, you look at, the perception is, they should have beaten Philly. But let's put it into perspective. And a 19-7 halftime lead? They had a 26-7 lead on Philly, and that defense allowed 33 points, right, or 26 in the second half.
They got lit up.
Right? They beat basically a dead Houston team 14-9 to start the year. Titans.
Well, so, okay.
They struggle with the Ravens and Cooper Rush and Tyler Huntley.
I want to meet you somewhere. I want to meet you on this.
Go ahead.
This happened last year with the NFC North. NFC North. I mean, is this the greatest division in the history of the league? And you look back and you go, they both played the AFC South and the NFC South.
Right.
And guess who this year plays both the AFC South and the NFC South?
Yeah.
The NFC West. So I think they've all beaten the Titans other than the Niners, who will eventually add that to their resume, right? They've all beaten the New Orleans Saints. You wonder how this stuff happens, though.
Right.
But people don't talk about that.
Their quality win is beating the Colts, right? 27-20.
Yeah, I'm not saying the Rams aren't.
And that
a good
was
team,
also the game that A.D. Mitchell, had the touchdown and it goes through. And so
poor kid.
Right.
All right, he's a Jet now.
And their recent win over Jacksonville, because Jacksonville has looked better over the past couple. Well,
but nobody believes in Jacksonville, though, is the reality.
I mean,
but does anybody believe in Jacksonville?
No,
they're barely booked as favorites against Davis Mills today.
I think that's the perception. But if they get the win today, they'll have 6 wins, right?
Sure.
I mean, it is amazing that the Chiefs are back, but Jacksonville beat the Chiefs.
But that's a whole nother. I know.
But that is the perception. So when we're looking at the Rams and we say, okay, they're contenders, hands down. This Matt Stafford, right? Okay, let's call it what it is. Can they be exposed defensively? Mac Jones and Scrubs put up 30-plus points on that defense and 400 yards passing. So, okay, every team has a weakness, including the Eagles. If you're asking me, the Rams might be booked as favorites in the NFC in a couple weeks, depending upon what. But my money is still going on Philly because I think in a tough spot, I'm willing to bet that team than I am Matt Stafford and McVay.
The interesting thing remains the NFC West, where there was a very interesting decision made this week. We'll talk about that next.
Starts off on a positive note of getting Lamar Jackson back Thursday night, which was great. He threw for 200 yards, did not look rusty at all. He only rushed for 15, but he didn't really need that. Lamar Jackson also threw for 4 touchdowns, 2 of which going to Mark Andrews. So guess who's back and relative again at the tight end position now that Lamar's back? Oh, wait, it's Mark Andrews. No kidding. I mean, the guy just catches touchdowns. It's Lamar's favorite guy in the red zone.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
If Jacoby Brissett was playing bad football for the past 3 weeks, Kyler Murray will be fully healthy, ready to go. Can't wait to get him on the field at Seattle and try to resurrect our season. Now you have Jacoby Brissett playing really good football. Putting Kyler Murray back in right now because he wasn't playing good football doesn't make any sense. The perfect storm here for Arizona. Hey, Kyler, going on IR takes the pressure off you. And Jacoby, you deserve the start. Go ahead and start, kid.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
And the amazing thing you're going to say about Tom Izzo for the jump is, Tom Izzo don't duck anybody. You want to hear who they have to play preseason? Kentucky, Duke, UNC, and Arkansas. This is not the Jimmy Boeheim Don't Leave New York Carrier Dome Classic. This guy plays people.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
We now have to figure out if they will be in the playoffs. They're the Super Bowl favorite and have shorter odds to miss the postseason as you and I sit here right now.
Right, but let me ask you this. Do you feel after this 5-4 record, 9 weeks, 10 weeks of the regular season, that their defense is as dominant as it was last year?
But the offense is better.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Back to right here, and it is pro football today, where the Seahawks and the Cardinals will be in action, and we will not see Kyler Murray on the field this week, as we did not last week, and we will not see Kyler Murray on the field next week or the week after that, and probably ever again in an Arizona Cardinals uniform. It's interesting. Sometimes you get to situations like this, and people are like, oh, K-Dub, overreaction. Come on. It's now pretty much understood. But let's just kind of go through the timeline here a little bit for everyone. Kyler Murray was banged up, and Jacoby Brissett had to take over against the Indianapolis Colts. And Kyler was trying to work his way back, practicing. They figured he'd be back following the bye week. And Jacoby Brissett looked kind of good against Indy and Green Bay. And they figured maybe let's just give Kyler a little bit of time. Though going into the game against Dallas, we were told Murray might have a role, which is insane to say about a franchise quarterback who has a foot injury, known as a runner. We're going to bring him in for RPOs. He's healthy enough to do that. Oh, they said, never mind. Never mind. He's not going to have a role. Jacoby's going to start for us this game. We'll see what happens after that. Well, what happened was Kyler Murray was put on the IR, and instead of their coach, Jonathan Gannon, telling everyone that Jacoby Brissett will start as Kyler gets healthy, or we'll reevaluate Kyler when we can. He goes, just so everybody knows, Jacoby would have started even if Kyler Murray was 100% healthy. Not great. Got to be honest. Not great to have that said about what is supposed to be a franchise quarterback. So the reality is Jacoby Brissett has completely taken over this job. And we'll talk about what that means for Arizona in a second. But what it means for Kyler Murray, Joe, I am pretty much positive, I'm curious where you land on it, is next year he'll be playing for a different organization.
Good. Now, I mean, I have been very critical.
At K1.
I have been very critical of Kyler Murray this year. Again, he hasn't displayed the leadership that you would expect a franchise guy to buy into. And again, when you see that he's only thrown for 962 yards on the year, granted he's completed 66%, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He doesn't have the consistency from week to week. And you could talk about the loss to Tennessee, being on DeMarcado and that fumble. And granted, they should have been up, and that could have been maybe a different, maybe game-changing and season-changing win if they picked it up.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray still struggled in the second half. He doesn't give you, when he's out there, 4 quarters of consistent play.
Right.
And that has been the problem with Arizona. And this team and this organization were headed in they were progressing, right? They got 8 wins last year. They should have won that game, or they had an opportunity to win that game against Carolina. They blow it on the road. And all eyes on this year were like, okay, year 2 with Marvin Harrison. We have one of the best tight ends in Trey McBride. We solidify our draft with 2 defensive players, Will Johnson, a lockdown corner.
Sure.
We're headed in the right direction to maybe knock down that playoff door. And what happens? They start 2-0. They lose 5 straight. Kyler was hurt. Okay, I get that. But the body language, the lack of leadership, the inconsistent quarterback play, and then you bring in a journeyman in Jacoby Brissett that's basically on his 10th football team in the last 13 years, and he lights up one of the best defenses or one of the best teams in Indianapolis, beats Dallas on a Monday night, and is getting the football, not just Marvin Harrison, but Trey McBride and the other guys, Michael Wilson in that offense, that you say this is what we should have had from the start of the regular season. And Kyler Murray just can't bring it for whatever reason. And Gannon's at a point now where he has to win. He has to win. Otherwise, he's on the hot seat.
Yeah, I don't disagree that Gannon has to win. I can't believe that means Jacoby Brissett is the starter and not Kyler Murray. I think that it's incredible that this is where we ended up. Now, again, the results bear themselves out, right? Passer rating, QBR, yards per attempt, touchdown to interception ratio, it's all in Jacoby Brissett's favor. So I I get it. But this then means that Kyler Murray is going to end up somewhere else next season, without a shadow of a doubt, Joe.
Yeah.
They will take a lot. Like, it's not going to cost a first-round pick to bring Kyler Murray into your building. Not even close.
So then let me ask you this. If you're Cleveland.
Yeah, the problem is, it's funny. I brought that up. I brought that up to someone. It was actually Mike Blewett on Game Time Decisions, and Mike had responded just that Watson albatross probably doesn't make it possible. But I think Cleveland's in a weirder place than everybody.
They have the draft picks.
Yeah.
They still have Shador. They have Dylan Gabriel. The Watson situation, are you going to buy in even if he's somewhat healthy that he could even perform?
Does Miami take a look? Does Vegas take a look? I think those are, two places that'll probably jump out. Do the Jets take a look?
Yeah.
I think these are. I think what's going to be very interesting though is Kyler Murray is going to come cheap, right? I wonder if there is a world though where Kyler isn't a starter. Like, I wonder if that's on the board. Like, is there not a spot where someone's like, no, I really want Kyler as my guy?
I think the perception
Pittsburgh.
now. All right, but I think the perception, and we talk, it's a copycat league.
Okay.
When we see Sam Darnold, when we see Daniel Jones, when we see what Baker Mayfield has done throughout his career and bouncing from team to team, and now these teams now saying, you know what, he wasn't given a legitimate shot.
So
He just needs the proper, maybe,
here's
scheme
the problem,
or
though.
God.
Stuff around Kyler Murray that comes out often feels very tough to defend.
Well,
when
he
they
doesn't
have to
study the playbook.
No,
he's not dialed in. Is he a teammate guy? Because again, I've talked about it, right? Because and again, I'm not bashing him, but the body language, even when they're winning, is like he's disinterested.
Yeah,
he sits on the sidelines. And he's not one to even coach up the younger players.
But let me add this though, because this is you with Brissett's play, and then we're gonna break down Cardinals Seahawks in a second here. With Brissett's play, him keeping this job for now is one thing. You cannot tell me that Jacoby Brissett is going to get the Geno, Darnold, Baker label, right?
No, not in my opinion.
Because Arizona's going to be in the market for a quarterback as well here,
Absolutely.
Joe.
Absolutely. They're going to either have to draft one or it was Mac Jones an option. If you get Mac Jones,
I know, but it's just like, what is that going to do? I guess.
You don't think Mac Jones is going to be? If he continues to play the way he plays.
So he's the next one. Mac Jones is the next. Maybe with us, this is all fine and good.
So let me ask you, if it's between Mac Jones and Kyler Murray,
I'd rather take the chance on Kyler, but I don't think Arizona can. For me, if you remove Arizona, now again, for Arizona, they can't go back to Kyler. They just can't.
No. But my point is, it's going to be a team, right? Like if you're the Raiders, you take a shot on Mac Jones over Kyler. Why? Because the Raiders want to play to Mac Jones' strengths. They don't want a mobile quarterback. Otherwise, they would have went with one in the offseason. They have Geno Smith. But that's what Chip Kelly and that's what Carroll want to do. They want to run Genty, have the rushing attack based off the running back, and just throw the football vertically. That's Mac Jones.
I hear you. I just don't know how much, and this is a separate conversation, how much more time that Vegas stuff all goes on, right?
I'm just assuming Kelly is there, Carroll is there.
But it's going bad. Pete's the oldest coach in the league. I don't know how much longer that's going to be a thing.
I understand, but the theory is Mac Jones fits that scheme.
I hear you.
Better than Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray maybe needs a change of scenery, and Miami with a new GM, a new head coach.
Can we get Dak out of Dallas and get Kyler as a Cowboy? Can we get crazy with this or no? What do we think? I'm just trying to throw stuff out there.
Do you take? I think the Jets should be in the market, but again, what are they going to do?
Right.
They got to do something. Kyler was half checked out when he was the number one pick in the draft.
I hear you. Look, we're going to hit a break. When we come on back, Cardinals Seahawks plus an update in Colts Falcons.
starts off on a positive note of getting Lamar Jackson back Thursday night, which was great. He threw for 200 yards, did not look rusty at all. He only rushed for 15, but he didn't really need that. Lamar Jackson also threw for 4 touchdowns, 2 of which going to Mark Andrews. So guess who's back and relative again at the tight end position now that Lamar's back? Oh, wait, it's Mark Andrews. No kidding. I mean, the guy just catches touchdowns. It's Lamar's favorite guy in the red zone.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
If Jacoby Brissett was playing bad football for the past 3 weeks, Kyler Murray will be fully healthy, ready to go. Can't wait to get him on the field at Seattle and try to resurrect our season. Now you have Jacoby Brissett playing really good football. Putting Kyler Murray back in right now because he wasn't playing good football doesn't make any sense. The perfect storm here for Arizona. Hey, Kyler, going on IR takes the pressure off you. And Jacoby, you deserve the start. Go ahead and start, kid.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
And the amazing thing you're going to say about Tom Izzo for the jump is, Tom Izzo don't duck anybody. You want to hear who they have to play preseason? Kentucky, Duke, UNC, and Arkansas. This is not the Jimmy Boeheim Don't Leave New York Carrier Dome Classic. This guy plays people.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
We now have to figure out if they will be in the playoffs. They're the Super Bowl favorite and have shorter odds to miss the postseason as you and I sit here right now.
Right, but let me ask you this. Do you feel after this 5-4 record, 9 weeks, 10 weeks of the regular season, that their defense is as dominant as it was last year?
No, but the offense is better.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Seahawks, Cardinals, but first, Drake London, this guy can't stop scoring. That's 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Oh, will you stop? Oh, will you stop? I mean, if you are in one of the crazies, me bringing up Drake London scoring,
I
just
know.
rubbing it in because you have a Kyle Pitts touchdown tied to what?
Nothing.
Oh, just straight?
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I'm serious.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's tied to LSU to win the title next year or something.
Double low blow.
Okay,
double.
you're right.
That's
Fair
a double.
enough.
But
No,
I was
you're
on Bama yesterday
right.
for the record.
Yeah, I mean, what a zag by you. I'm not too pleased when I hear that.
I'm objective.
Not bad. Most unbiased man in the history of sports media.
One of.
No. Me, but I'm saying I'm impressed.
Well, you should be.
As the most unbiased man in the history of sports media, it's nice to see.
I break down these games objectively.
Okay, let's not get crazy now, okay? London scores. It's 14-13 Atlanta here, Joe. This is now a bit of a back-and-forth special. 3.5-point spread live in favor of Indianapolis. Total sitting again at 55 and a hook.
Yeah, total-wise, I mean, we need what, 29 points to get through that right now? 29 puts it at 56. I mean, that's 4 touchdowns. I still lean to the under 55.5.
Yeah?
I do right now.
I don't know.
But I like the Colts to potentially win the game. I would lay the 3.5 with Indy.
I don't know. This game might have something to it. Well, here's my thing. We're at 27 right now.
Correct.
Would you like more points if you were to bet the over live? Yes, but you don't need them to feel like you have a chance.
But
return.
But here's the
comeback.
Yeah, maybe they get points before the half. It just comes into if you're Atlanta and just knowing how potentially they lost games recently, and knowing that they dropped that game on the road. This is technically a neutral field, but it's still on the road, right? They're going to utilize, I believe, Bijan a little bit more in the second half.
Slow it down. Yeah, no, that. So,
and then there you go. You get one drive that's 7-8 minutes.
Right.
You get a 1-score game, and then all of a sudden now it's everybody's tight, and now we got to try and win it. As opposed to, and for Atlanta, they really need to win the game. So for me, I would lean to the under 55.5. I still like Indy to pull this game out.
Okay.
I just think that Daniel Jones and that offense are a little bit more consistent.
It's funny, though.
And I believe more in Steichen than I do Raheem Morris to make halftime adjustments.
Fair enough. I would just say, maybe we'll get into this more at halftime, but like a Colts loss here, if it is followed by a Jacksonville win later today, things get a little interesting in the South out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We'll keep our eyes on this one. So, look, we talked about the Kyler situation up and down. On the other side of the field, though, Joe, is Sam Darnold. And a Seattle offense that's coming off of one of the more impressive games we've seen all season long, as they, in the first half against the Washington Commanders, scored 31 points. Sam Darnold had 4 passing touchdowns and did not have an incomplete pass. They, today, are a 7-point favorite. And I think this number, I'm just going to pull this up here quickly. It looks like it's starting to climb a little bit. Yeah, it's 7 everywhere now. So it's continuing to move towards Seattle here. Are you a believer in this Seahawks team?
I mean, believer on the defense, yes. And again, you can't take away what they did last week. I mean, Darnold had a near perfect first half.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 touchdown passes. They're doing it with second and third options at the wide receiver position outside of JSN. JSN is living up to be the next best Ohio State wide receiver to come out and just hit the ground running. It's like 100 yards almost every time he steps out there. And Darnold has performed, and you can't take it away from him. I still like, and I tell you, divisional games where you have a home dog. I'm still, just like we had, not a home dog, a divisional game where you have a touchdown or more, like we had last week with Minnesota. I'm going to take the points. And it's not a knock on Seattle from what they've done up until this point. I don't think they look to get into a shootout, Arizona, today. I think they look to maybe muddy it up, try and run the football. It's easier said than done. Obviously, they have Michael Carter. They have Bam Knight. They have low numbers because of how good Seattle's front seven is in run support. But, again, I don't think I think they're going to be within the number. And I think their defense is not given enough credit, Arizona. They can play. It's their offense at times that have let them down.
Yeah.
But I still think Arizona can play. And, again, I think it's a lower scoring game. I like the under. But I'm going to take the 7 with Jacoby Brissett, and I think they utilize more of a ball control type of attack that they did against Dallas to potentially pull it out.
So I want to just bring something up, though, with Seattle. And I should have asked you guys to pull up the Seahawks schedule. That's on me. But I'll go through it just quickly, okay?
Who have they beaten?
Well, just hold on. Niners, Steelers, Saints, Cardinals, Bucks, Jags, Texans, Commanders. Is there any argument that the 2 toughest teams they played were San Francisco and Tampa Bay? Is there any argument that it was anyone other than that?
No.
Okay. Well, they lost both games at home. Now, I understand it was by a combined 7. Their road war. I get it. But the ease to which people will leap these lofty expectations, the Seahawks are real Super Bowl contenders.
Well,
yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, well.
Hold on.
I know. But
I don't, are they?
Well.
They are good. Joe, to your favorite, why are they booked half of Tampa Bay? In what world? They played in Seattle, lost. The Bucks are minus 400, 500 to win a division, and the Seahawks are not favored to win their division.
Because
what are we doing?
Because it's perception. These markets are based off perception.
It's not just that, though.
No, it's not just that, but people have anointed them because they're on their way to, 1, crushing their win total at the start of the year.
Sure.
And that Darnold now has taken off from where he did in the regular season with Minnesota because everybody thought he wasn't worth the money and nobody thought he could duplicate the type of passing output.
And he has. And I give him credit for that.
But that's why.
Sure, I give him credit for it. But, Joe, we saw him last year
I know.
play like this. And what was the end result?
They don't wow me.
People in Seattle think that's unfair. Sorry.
But it
is.
I will say their defense, now, maybe I saw them in the 2 primetime games, but to me.
The defense I always thought was going to be great. And
that
the defense
secondary
is
is very difficult to throw on.
I understand that, but just about every defense in this league can be had.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
the reality of it.
Baker
right
sliced and diced them.
No doubt about it. We didn't talk a ton of JSN there. We'll talk about that and the Offensive Player of the Year race after the break on SportsGrid.
starts off on a positive note of getting Lamar Jackson back Thursday night, which was great. He threw for 200 yards, did not look rusty at all. He only rushed for 15, but he didn't really need that. Lamar Jackson also threw for 4 touchdowns, 2 of which going to Mark Andrews. So guess who's back and relative again at the tight end position now that Lamar's back? Oh, wait, it's Mark Andrews. No kidding. I mean, the guy just catches touchdowns. It's Lamar's favorite guy in the red zone.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
If Jacoby Brissett was playing bad football for the past 3 weeks, Kyler Murray will be fully healthy, ready to go. Can't wait to get him on the field at Seattle and try to resurrect our season. Now you have Jacoby Brissett playing really good football. Putting Kyler Murray back in right now because he wasn't playing good football doesn't make any sense. The perfect storm here for Arizona. Hey, Kyler, going on IR takes the pressure off you. And Jacoby, you deserve the start. Go ahead and start, kid.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
And the amazing thing you're going to say about Tom Izzo for the jump is, Tom Izzo don't duck anybody. You want to hear who they have to play preseason? Kentucky, Duke, UNC, and Arkansas. This is not the Jimmy Boeheim Don't Leave New York Carrier Dome Classic. This guy plays people.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
We now have to figure out if they will be in the playoffs. They're the Super Bowl favorite and have shorter odds to miss the postseason as you and I sit here right now.
Right, but let me ask you this. Do you feel after this 5-4 record, 9 weeks, 10 weeks of the regular season, that their defense is as dominant as it was last year?
But the offense is better.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Seahawks Cardinals is a fascinating game. One element that will have my attention is, does Jackson Smith and Jigba continue to be absolutely unstoppable? He is at 948 yards and is on pace for the first 2,000-yard season in the history of the league. I believe his receiving yards per game number at the moment would be the second best ever to Calvin Johnson, who owns the single-season receiving record. Of course, that additional game is where things, get a little tricky here, Joe, and, he could potentially then get to 2,000. He has had over 120 yards in 4 straight games. Where are you at on Jackson Smith and Jigba? Because this is one of the things where I heard someone say, last year, Donald, all he did was throw to Justin Jefferson. It's a little different in Seattle. I'm like, it couldn't be less different.
Yeah.
It's actually more the other way. All he does is throw to JSN.
Well, again,
as he should, though, but I'm just saying.
But, yes, and Donald spread it around. He did throw to Addison on multiple opportunities. But JSN didn't think he would have as big of a season.
Okay.
Because DK wasn't there. And if DK was there, I was like, JSN could break out, right? He's that guy.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, what is the identity of Seattle entering the year with Charbonnet and Walker? They want to ground and pound.
Yeah.
They want to work off of play action. And now this offense has evolved with Barner, the tight end, and now JSN just catching 100 yards every game, that they're lethal in the passing attack.
Right.
And no matter if you double cover them or you scheme to take them out of the offense, they have that thing going where JSN is going to find a hole in the defense and exploit it. I mean, he is, when you think about just the route running, the hands, he is so fluid, and he makes it look simple. Yeah. Like some other guys like Harrison, right? Mm-hmm. For, different type of body type and everything else. But sometimes early on in what we've seen, he's been a little more consistent now, but he struggles with the football. JSN just never breaks stride. Ibuka's like that too, and I'm bringing up the Ohio State guys, but he amazes me. He's like just fluid, and you really have to respect what he does because never hear him open his mouth. Now, maybe he does. I just don't hear it. But consummate professional, steps up. All he does is back it up with his play on the field. And again, he is the number one option for that offense. If he wasn't performing at this level, Darnold wouldn't have those type of numbers.
Oh.
And those other guys that hit pay dirt last week would not be as wide open as they were.
Yeah, listen, I think he is having a remarkable season. I think there's actually a real argument he should be the favorite to win Offensive Player of the Year because, quite frankly, I don't really care what Jonathan Taylor does. You know, this is going to sound
Well, what do you
ridiculous.
think about him, though? Do you feel like that's a valid point? Like he is just, you watch him, he never breaks stride. Even when he catches the football, he's always...
Yeah, he feels open every play. I think Sam Darnold's incredibly comfortable with him already. And, I mean, he's emerged as a guy who has an argument for the best receiver in football. And I know that might sound disrespectful to Chase and Jefferson for what they've, been able to do year over year. But the Jackson Smith and Jigba stuff has just been remarkable this season, and it doesn't feel fluky. We know he has pedigree going back to Ohio State. And I think that's one of the big things for Seattle is it feels like they have themselves a bona fide superstar on the outside. They trade for Rashid Shaheed at the deadline, and everybody universally praises that move, as they should. I think it's one of those things where now Shaheed has a reputation as a burner, and defenses are going to respect that. That might just get JSN even more open, quite frankly. So
Right.
It's one of the things that's going to make Seattle interesting. And I know you don't get involved into the market too much, but the Offensive Player of the Year award. I don't think there's anything within reason Jonathan Taylor can do to win this award over JSN if JSN has 2,000 receiving.
Not now, no. Especially if they would have beat Pittsburgh and they had one loss and they pick up the win today, you could make that argument.
Right.
But I think the luster is now not, I don't want to say luster because he's having a fantastic year, Jonathan Taylor.
No
But,
doubt.
but it's just a very good year for a running back.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the Saquon type of, 2,000 yards with
Right.
the ability to break the record and just lead his team to the number one seed. It's worn off a little bit. And it's like, it's the Colts, right? And that's what it is.
Yeah.
So he might rush for 1,700, 1,800 yards. But it's certainly, I don't think, worthy of the Offensive Player of the Year. I would give it to JSN right now, especially if he puts up 2,000.
Yeah, that again. But to be fair, JSN, like receptions-wise and touchdown-wise, it's not very OPOY-esque. So, look, I'm just saying his case is
He's explosive.
break it. I'm talking about just winning that award and making some history. We will give you an update as it is halftime. Colts, Falcons, next.
Starts off on a positive note of getting Lamar Jackson back Thursday night, which was great. He threw for 200 yards, did not look rusty at all. He only rushed for 15, but he didn't really need that. Lamar Jackson also threw for 4 touchdowns, 2 of which going to Mark Andrews. So guess who's back and relative again at the tight end position now that Lamar's back? Oh, wait, it's Mark Andrews. No kidding. I mean, the guy just catches touchdowns. It's Lamar's favorite guy in the red zone.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
If Jacoby Brissett was playing bad football for the past 3 weeks, Kyler Murray will be fully healthy, ready to go. Can't wait to get him on the field at Seattle and try to resurrect our season. Now you have Jacoby Brissett playing really good football. Putting Kyler Murray back in right now because he wasn't playing good football doesn't make any sense. The perfect storm here for Arizona. Hey, Kyler, going on IR takes the pressure off you. And Jacoby, you deserve the start. Go ahead and start, kid.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
And the amazing thing you're going to say about Tom Izzo for the jump is, Tom Izzo don't duck anybody. You want to hear who they have to play preseason? Kentucky, Duke, UNC, and Arkansas. This is not the Jimmy Boeheim Don't Leave New York Carrier Dome Classic. This guy plays people.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
We now have to figure out if they will be in the playoffs. They're the Super Bowl favorite and have shorter odds to miss the postseason as you and I sit here right now.
Right, but let me ask you this. Do you feel after this 5-4 record, 9 weeks, 10 weeks of the regular season, that their defense is as dominant as it was last year?
No, but the offense is better.
Pro Football Today.